Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily. Tommy Christ and Ronnie Grant's here with you, presented by LeBear's Casino. TK over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge. He'll be there today. He'll be there on Friday. I'm at an undisclosed location presented by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, lasportshall.com. Get you some swag, get you some gear at lasportshall.com. We'll have an announcement September 11th. So it'll be right around the corner in a couple weeks. September 11th, we'll be announcing the 2025 Hall of Fame class, and it's another doozy, that's for sure. Some names you definitely know. And we're presented by LeBear's Casino, which has the sports book, and it'll be soon ESPN Bets Sportsbook. They officially cutting the ribbon, having the grand opening on Thursday, September the 5th. So we'll refer to it from now on as the ESPN Bets Sportsbook. We'll have a new facelift and going to be rocking and rolling this weekend. Of course, full slate of college football underway. And there'll be a ton of people there this weekend watching college football, betting on the games and all that. And then NFL the following weekend gets underway. Lots to get to. Cut day in the NFL. The New Orleans Saints, no real shockers, but they did keep 3 quarterbacks. There was some discussion, would they keep the 3 QBs? And that's 3 QBs not counting Taysom Hill. So, I mean, really, you got 4, that type of emergency deal with Taysom Hill, who they list as a running back, who will play a little bit of slot tight end. But Taysom Hill on the roster again, 3 quarterbacks. Who's number 2? They haven't necessarily announced that, nor will they probably tell you. You'll just see it happen if in case Carr does need a breather or gets hurt or something. I think that's probably the way they'll go at it between Haener and Rattler. But they did make it. Other news around the league, TK, Terrence Marshall, the wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers, who was a first-round pick, was a big part of that 19 national championship team with Joe Burrow. He gets released. That was a little bit of a surprise. Russell Gage, Deion Jones, they also were released. Odell Beckham Jr. put on the PUP list. That means he'll be out for the first 4 games for the Miami Dolphins. Those are just some of the notable news around the league. Bo Nix named the starter in Denver. A reaction to all of what I just mentioned.
Oh, yeah, not a lot of big names. When that Tony, the wide receiver from the Chiefs, got released, many people think he'll get picked up. Other than that, there were no super duper names or big shocking moves. But the waiver wire ends at some point today. So some of these guys, including the LSU guys, a couple of Tulane guys that got cut, could end up with a spot, albeit on a practice squad. So I'm like you, interested in that the Saints really have 4 quarterbacks if you count Taysom Hill, going forward. But things could change on that. But the Saints are pretty much what everybody thought they would be. People who follow the Saints on a daily basis, nobody predicted any big surprises, and we didn't have any. So NFL, going to not have anything this weekend. So it'll be full stage for college football and the high school jamborees. So, but then the Saints will get going on the 8th at home in the Dome. So we'll talk more NFL next week.
So the practice squad, which you mentioned, it's the practice squad. People may not realize you can carry 16 players on the practice squad, 16. And when you only have a 53-man roster, that's a lot of players. And 6 of those players can be any year. It could be a 15-year veteran, it can be a rookie. You have to have at least 10 2-year players or less, a minimum of 10, but you can have 6 players of any ilk. And the minimum salary on the practice squad is $12,500 per game. So obviously it's a negotiated thing. If you wanted to have a veteran and put him on the practice squad, he's going to say, well, what are you going to pay me? And you say, well, we're going to give you 14. And he go, well, I want 20. Well, all right, we'll give you 15. All right, deal. Guys, obviously, maybe there's some other teams that are negotiating. So it's like being a free agent in football where, a free agent, when you get an undrafted free agent out of college where, you're not getting drafted, but so you can negotiate with multiple teams. Hey, you want me on your practice squad? How much are you going to pay me per game? And you try to find the best fit that gives you the best chance to get to the active roster where you can make the real money. But 12.5, not bad money 17 games if you make it the whole way, right? So you're making over $200,000, making it right at $200,000 a year being on the practice squad. I'd take that gig, TK.
He's standing on the sidelines wearing sweats, and no pressure to have to run out into the game, Still got to practice and all that, but hey, getting paid.
Not a shocker because we expected this. We kind of knew it was going to happen. But Bo Nix named the starter officially over there in Denver again, for the Broncos for Sean Payton. And the Saints fans will get a chance to see Bo Nix in person in the Dome when he takes on Dennis Allen and the Saints on Thursday night game, which will be the Hall of Fame game. That's when they will honor Drew Brees during that game. There are 12 staffers, former New Orleans Saints staffers on that Denver Broncos staff, from trainers to head coach and in between. There's 12 former New Orleans Saints staffers in Denver under Sean Payton. So that played a big part in why Drew and the Saints decided on that Thursday. Plus, Drew coaches his kids on Fridays and Saturdays or whatever in football back in California. So it had worked out for all of them. They're going to do a one-day event. It's going to be a Thursday luncheon at the Hilton River Center downtown. They'll have a Saints Hall of Fame luncheon, which Drew will be at, and they will do. And then that night at the game will be the ceremony and everything. And of course, Sean Payton will be a big part of that as well. But
Cam Jordan was quoted as saying that he wants him to boo Sean Payton for leaving him. Now, he thinks because he won a Super Bowl, there'll be a smattering of cheers and applause because he did win, deliver New Orleans their only Super Bowl. But it'll be interesting to see that reaction in the building. And, he's so close to Drew Brees, and I don't think he's going to get booed out the building. Will there be some boos? Yeah. There's going to be some of that, especially
when the Saints get off to a bad start and the Broncos, if they get off to a good start, there's going to be some boos because people are going to be frustrated. Like, oh, you didn't want us anymore. You broke up with us. The Saints and Sean Payton and all can make it seem all nice as much as they want. The bottom line is that it's a divorce. Sean Payton said, "You know what? I'm tired of this marriage. I want to go for the younger, hotter chick. You know what I mean? Like this was a nice run. I'm not into it anymore. I'm not attracted to you anymore. I'm going to find somebody new and different." And that's what he did. And he did it in his personal life years ago, and he did in his professional life. And the Saints have been hot garbage ever since he left, thanks to Dennis Allen and whatnot. I think there will be some people that will boo. The majority are going to cheer for sure, but there'll be some people that boo. They might boo cheer. It might be a boo, and then give them the cheer.
Could be. Well, I'd be curious. That's a little bit down the road, but we'll talk about that when we get closer.
All right. Some other news and notes to tell you about. The Ferg Osbury was down in New Orleans, spoke at the quarterback club luncheon. They honored Ed Daniels as well on Tuesday. Mentioned Tulane LSU. He's working on it because, of course, one of the jobs that Verge has is he's the guy that puts together the schedule and everything. He said they're working on bringing back LSU Tulane for some games in the future. You buying it?
Yeah, they're probably talking about it. They're not going to go play in a dome. Well, they might because of the LSU fan base in the Crescent City. But, I wouldn't be surprised to see it, especially when you looked at, they're playing Nichols this year. They've spread it around the state with Southern and Grambling and Tech and, the Raging Cajuns. They've moved it around. Even Southeastern got to play at Tiger Stadium. So maybe in that little, we're going to play somebody from the state every now and then, maybe Tulane to get back on that list. Ronnie, I'm an old guy, but I grew up when that LSU Tulane thing was huge. And down in New Orleans and in Baton Rouge. And, of course, when Tulane snapped the 25-year losing streak back in 73, beating LSU 14-0 in the old Tiger Stadium. There was a lot of stuff back in the day. And then it all kind of went away, but it'd be good to see him play again. I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with Tulane athletics in any way. So many people I know are Tulane fans or played sports there, and some really good friends that did. So I don't have a problem with Tulane.
I don't know that it's ever going to get back to every year a home and away type of deal. Um, and I would hope that it would, but I would hope it would be more than a one-off every 10 years, 15 years too, because there is benefit to playing Tulane in New Orleans. You get credit for not being a home game. It'd be a neutral site game if you played it in the dome. You clearly, if you work out the deal with Tulane, you're going to say, look, you're going to get this amount. We're going to get this. I mean, yeah, we can call it your home game, but if you want us to come play you in the dome, we're going to get 75% of the money. In the day and age where LSU's going to look to cut cost, they're not going to want to spend a gazillion dollars to bring in out of conference opponents. They got NIL they got to worry about, and they got a $15-20 million payroll they got to worry about every year. This is an opportunity to, hey, you want to play us, Tulane, on more often? We're going to give you this amount to come, take a bus. You don't have to buy a hotel room, flights, anything like that. You take a bus, come right up the road to us. I think there's a lot of benefit for Tulane. There's a lot of benefit for LSU. And I wouldn't be surprised, Tommy, if it is some sort of multi-game package, because, you can get an in-state opponent cheap. And if you play on the road, you get probably 75% of the money on that game if you play in the dome.
And Tulane's been a lot better the last couple of years. Beat Southern Cal in a bowl game 2 years ago. So, I mean, but now Willie Fritz is with the Houston Cougars. John Sumrall, the resume is good. I've heard him speak. I've seen some video clips, the new coach of the Green Wave, and he's recruited pretty well. And, if they can stay, contending for their conference title and going to bowl games, that'll add a little something to that LSU Tulane thing. I agree with you. It'll never be what it once was. It won't be home and home every year. But I'd like to see them back on the schedule.
Speaking of LSU, Andrew Whitworth was on a national podcast TV show, one of those, and he talked about how he was a member on that 2003 national championship team. And, we think back to 21 years ago, and when LSU won that national championship, it was a little bit they didn't get all the credit they deserved, right? Because USC, was named a national champion in the USA Today poll, and then LSU won the BCS, and so their USC claims national championship. Their players claim a national championship. Their record books indicate national championship, and for a lot of fans around the country, they were co-national champions. The irony is that LSU in 2003 was more dominant and deserved their national championship more than they did in 2007, but no one questions the 2007 when they had 2 losses and won their national championship. But Andrew Whitworth said there's a score to be settled here. LSU and USC haven't played in football in forever, and yeah, for former players, this means a little more, especially guys that played on those teams. They want LSU to go win, not just for this year, but for all the trash talking and all the lack of respect they felt like they got on that 2003 team.
Well, the all-time series is 1-1. 40 years ago in '84, they beat the Trojans in the Coliseum, like 24-3. And in '79 was the famous game in Tiger Stadium, the fake face mask penalty, and Southern Cal won, 16-12, 19-14, whatever it was. So that's the only 2 times they played. So it's been 40 years since they met on the football field. And I agree with Whitworth. Them LSU guys, like you got the purple and gold in your blood. And there's a little score to settle. So we'll see. I think LSU's going to win the game, and we'll have predictions Saturday morning on the radio when you're live in Las Vegas. I won't be there, but you'll be live. But I'll be on the phone. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with Big Wit. And then it's only the 3rd time in history they played, and Reggie Bush and Matt Leinart, and of that ilk, what's his name? The quarterback for the quarterback on that 2003 team was a right-hander. Was it not Palmer? Oh my gosh, I'm about to go.
Palmer, yeah.
Was it Carson Palmer?
I think.
Was he the quarterback of the 2003 team? Google that real quick, TK.
I think it was Carson Palmer.
Yeah. I like the system that they have now because, better than the BCS system, better than, the BCS system was better than just a bunch of old sports writers getting around voting. But the one they have, the system they have now is better. It was better with the 4 teams. It's going to be better with the 12 teams. And, you're never going to make everybody happy. I mean, I don't know if they'll ever get to 16 teams. That's probably the finale. That's probably the most you would do. But anyway.
It wasn't Carson Palmer because he was a senior in 2002 and he won the Heisman Trophy. Okay. But let me see if I can find out the.
Yeah, must have been a young Matt Leinart. All right, while you're looking that up, I'm going to comment.
I think it was Leinart. Now that you say that. Yep, it was Matt Leinart.
Yeah. Speaking of quarterbacks, you came up with a stat. I mean that you saw somewhere that this number is only going to go up. Tell them what it is.
Mind-boggling. You ready for this? There's 68 Power Conference schools. We're not counting the Pac-12 thing. Of the 68 teams, 43 of them this weekend are going to start a transfer quarterback. That's 63% of the quarterbacks in the Power Conference teams are transfers. Okay, not LSU. That's why it's not a transfer. And the word is between 800,000 and 1.2 million is what these 43 quarterbacks got to transfer to wherever they're at, wherever they're from. And then you got like Ronnie, TJ Finley. Remember him? Ponchatoula.
He's been Ponchatoula, Auburn, Texas State. Now he's
Ponchatoula, Auburn, Texas State. Now he's at Western Kentucky and he's a starter. But I think there's another school. I think there's a 4th school in there.
No, I mean when LSU, Auburn, Texas State. Now
so the 4th school is Western Kentucky, and he was named starter like a week ago for the Hilltop.
He started at all 4 schools at one point.
Yeah. Hey, guy's hanging around. Somebody thinks he can do something. So, but anyway, so
interested to see. When you sit at home and you think, God, why don't they just sit there and be loyal? You wouldn't be. Somebody came to you and said, "Hey, look, transfer to us. I'll give you $500,000. What bag do you want me to use? One? Did I get 1 carry-on or 2? I mean, that's it. It's
everybody wants to.
But guys are going to continue to hop each and every year because they're getting a lick. They're getting a big lick each and every year. Or they stay and they go, listen, before I get in this portal, how much are you going to give me? 500? Okay, I can get $1 million to go. I'm out.
Well, everybody wants to be on the field. Okay, and I get that. Okay, when you played, you want to be on the field. I want to be on the field. But not everybody. And there have been a couple of transfers that aren't getting on the field. As a kid went to Southern Cal and lost out to Miller Moss, who will cross quarterback against LSU Sunday night. So, but everybody wants to be on the field, and you can only put 11 out there, and you got 100 on the team. So, that's part of it. But it's the money thing. And yeah, people at home say, "Oh, I don't like this." If they were in those shoes, they do the exact same thing 99 times out of 100.
Let's move over to 2 more topics. MLB baseball. Dylan Cruz went 0 for 3 in his debut on Monday with a walk. On Tuesday, he went 2 for 4, including a ringing double in the 2nd inning. His first at bat off the wall, almost a homer. He's now 2 for 7 with a walk. Pretty great to see. Jay Johnson was in the house. He flew up there along with a lot of other family and friends. Jay got to go see him. Just what a great, a lot of people from Baton Rouge went up there as well. What a great experience for their family and everything. Got to take on the Yankees, which is really cool. But 2 hits, first 2 of many, Tommy.
Yeah, he had double into left center for his first major league hit. Hey, Monday night, they had a nice interview with his dad, George, who I know you know, and I've met a couple times. A lengthy interview with his dad Monday night, in the stands. He had the Dylan Cruz national jersey on the whole bit. But, so now he's hitting 286, and first couple of hits of many. Did score a run last night as well. So Dylan Cruz, pretty sure he's going to be in the big leagues for quite a while.
Another guy who's going to be in the big leagues is Aaron Nola. Aaron Nola, for a long time. Aaron Nola, just another great season, churning it out. We've talked about him numerous times this summer and probably got right on the bubble for the All-Star game. Didn't make it. He's 12-6 now. Had 7 shutout innings last night against the Astros, a red hot team at home in Philadelphia. So 12-6 with a 3.5, just a little over 3 earned run average. He's been, the year after signing his big extension, signing his almost $200 million deal, he's definitely put up a great season. And of course, the Phillies are a team that definitely is a MLB World Series contender. They're a team that'll get in the playoffs, and anything can happen with that squad with those arms. Paul Skeen's going to throw today. He's 8-2 ERA, just over 2. Last outing was sensational. Got a little early or a little breakfast with the Buccos today.
Yeah, he's throwing in a couple hours in Pittsburgh against the Cubbies, and he's 8-2 with a 2.16 ERA, and he hadn't been getting a lot of support. Did last time out. Pirates scored 6 or 7 runs, but Pirates aren't the best hitting team in the league, and they're not going to be in the playoffs. But Skeens will throw today, see if he can get win number 9.
Skeens will be here this offseason, living here this offseason. I'm not sure if he'd be here anyway but obviously he and Livy Dunn are dating and very serious. She's flown up numerous times, including last week, to see him pitch. So he'll be here this offseason, training and living here. So he's already told some people that. Sam Burns, one day we'll probably say Sam Burns, the greatest Louisiana golfer ever. He's not quite there yet. David Toms and Hal Sutton still have that title. But Sam Burns, barring injury, I'm sure will one day get there. And I think David Toms and Hal Sutton would probably tell you that. But he's got a chance. Eastover, the finals of the FedEx Cup is this weekend. A new Eastover. Do you know anything about it? Like what's changed? I know they had a massive facelift.
They did a lot of changes to the golf course. I read a little something about that. But 30 golfers, there's only 30 in the field, and it's staggered. They all have like Scheffler is at 10 under, second place guys at like 8 under, but Burns is out there tied for 6th. It's staggered on how you've done in the other playoffs and during the year. But 30 golfers, Sam Burns is in that number, playing at East Lake in Atlanta for the Tour Championship. Winner picks up $25 million.
It's 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. Is how they stagger it. Of course, Scotty Scheffler, the only golfer at -10 to start, so he's got a 2-shot lead over the next golfer before the tournament even begins. Scheffler was very outspoken. He's been the golfer of the year all year long, no doubt about it. But he was talking about how, look, we can call it the points challenge, but it's one tournament. And he's like, as great as the year as I've had, I don't win that one tournament, then all of a sudden someone else was the golfer of the year. And so, I agree with him that it's not truly indicative of who's had the best year, who ends up winning the FedEx Cup title.
Well, the conversation this week has been if Schauffele, who has 2 majors, could win this weekend, then does he get golfer of the year because of 2 majors and winning the Tour Championship? But I think the inner circle doesn't view it. They agree with Scheffler. The Tour Championship's not, they're like a true choice. It's not like winning the Super Bowl or winning a World Series or winning an NBA title. It's a little more awkward, I guess is the word. But
I can tell you, I don't know that if Schauffele wins, he may have the 2 majors and obviously the tour, the Eastover title, but Scheffler has been the story, I think, for even passing fans. Even
he won 6 out of 7 back in the spring.
He has been the story since day one this year, and has been the most consistent golfer, the closest thing to a Tiger Woods year we've seen since Tiger. It's been pretty fun to watch, and there's no reason to believe that with Scotty.
My vote would be for Scheffler, even if he doesn't do great this weekend. It's just, if you're going to say the golfer of the year, I think it's Scheffler.
No question. Tell us about.
Well, like they do every Wednesday, burger and fries for $6.99 today. The world famous burger, the official burger of the Baton Rouge Rougarou. You can get it you can eat it here, or you can get it to go. Get a bunch of them to go, take it back to the office. burger and fries for $6.99. Of course, they got everything you need for your tailgating, watching the games, going to people's house, having people coming over. They got everything you need here, from the wine and the booze to the chicken to the steaks to the seafood, the ribeye rolls, the shrimp rolls. They got it all. The pulled pork. They got it all at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. Stop by here in Jefferson Highway. You'll be glad that you did.
All right, for Tommy Krysan, I'm Ronnie Rand. Special thanks to LaBear's Casino for being our presenting sponsor. Make sure you go by there this weekend, turn in your bets and stuff. Get to make that game just a little bit more fun going into the ESPN Bet Sportsbook and putting.
Let's mention before you go, live from Las Vegas, Mandalay Bay. You'll be doing radio, Sports Shorts radio. You'll have Hunter McCann there. If the schedule works out, I'll join via the phone. We'll have other people via the phone. So live this Saturday, 104.5 ESPN, no question, but live from Las Vegas, getting everybody ready for LSU, USC, and a ton of great college football action.
Looking forward to it. Going to be awesome. We'll talk to you then on Sports Shorts Radio. TK will be back on Friday with Jeff Palermo as his special guest on Friday. I'll be traveling. And until then, go Tigers, and I'll talk to you on Saturday, everybody. Have a good one.